For over a century, the land of Palestine has been a battleground of empires, ambitions, and identities. For many reasons, this area has become a place many have sought to call home. This is the story of the modern origins of that conflict and how it has shaped the world we know today. In the midst of World War II, Britain and France secretly signed the Sykes-Picot Agreement, preemptively dividing up the Ottoman Empire's vast territory amid its imminent collapse. A year later, in 1917, Foreign Secretary Arthur Balfour wrote a letter to Lord Walter Rothschild expressing British support for the establishment of a Jewish national homeland in Palestine. Significantly, this letter ensured the civil and religious rights of existing non-Jewish communities living in the country. This became known as the Balfour Declaration.
By 1922, the League of Nations granted Britain a mandate over Palestine, enacting the previously established Sykes-Picot Agreement. Jewish immigration increases, tensions rise, and by 1933, the Arab population of Palestine start to revolt, amid a rise of Jewish immigration due to Nazi persecution across Europe.
This tension came to fruition in 1936, with the Arab Revolt, a major uprising by the Palestinian Arabs against the British Mandate administration and increasing Jewish presence in Palestine. The British found this situation to be unmanageable, so on the 7th of July 1937, the Peel Commission published a report proposing the mandate should be ended and a partition over the land be implemented. To try and control the situation further, they issued the White Paper in 1939, limiting Jewish immigration to Palestine for the first time. In response, Jewish militias formed to fight both the Arabs and resist British rule. After years of conflict over the Palestinian land, Zionist leaders from across the world met in New York at the Biltmore Hotel to discuss and eventually adopt the Biltmore Programme. The meeting contained 600 delegates and Zionist leaders from 18 different countries, and it demanded that Palestine be established as a Jewish Commonwealth.
1947. Britain withdraws, leaving the future of Palestine up to the newly formed United Nations. The UN choose to enact Resolution 181, dividing the land into two halves, one Arab, one Jewish. The result? War.
On May 15, 1948, a day after the end of the British Mandate, Israel declares independence. War erupts as the state of Egypt, Transjordan, Iraq, Syria, and Lebanon all intervene. By its end, over 700,000 Palestinians are displaced, with over 6,000 Israeli and anywhere between 6,000 and 20,000 Arab fighters and civilians killed.
1949. The war ends with an armistice agreement, and Israel gained more territory than the UN partition had originally allocated.
The land is divided up yet again. The Palestinian people are split into several different territories within Israel: the Golan Heights up north, West Bank in the east, and Gaza in the west.
West Bank comes under Jordanian control and Gaza under Egyptian, but Palestinian statehood remains elusive. Over the next 18 years, tensions continue to rise, with either side defying aspects of UN jurisdiction.
Years later, in 1967, the Israeli government pushed to occupy the West Bank, Gaza, East Jerusalem, the Golan Heights, and the Sinai Peninsula, all Palestinian-owned land. This event becomes known as the Six-Day War. After this, the Palestinian population struggled to find a new form, which eventually takes shape for the Palestinian Liberation Organization, or the PLO, founded 3 years prior. In 1974, the UN officially recognizes the PLO as the sole legitimate representative of the Palestinian people. In 1987, the First Intifada erupts in Gaza and the West Bank, leading to Israeli crackdowns and international attention. In 1993, the Oslo Accords offer a glimpse of hope. Palestinian self-governance is introduced in parts of the West Bank and Gaza, but settlement expansion, continued military presence, and political assassinations stall progress.
Despite these attempts, the Second Intifada begins in the year 2000, after a controversial Israeli visit to Al-Haram al-Sharif. Tensions continue to rise and violence surge, leading to military operations and suicide bombings from both sides.
Since then, the last 25 years of this conflict has seen a continuous cycle of war and negotiations. Where ground seemed like it may have been made, it is later lost. 2006 saw the second iteration of Palestinian parliamentary elections, which resulted in Hamas gaining a large majority. In 2023, violence escalated again following a Hamas attack on Israel. Israel's response to this led to the International Court of Justice to declare its occupation of Palestine as unlawful.
The struggle continues to this day, with any form of previous negotiations and agreements ultimately collapsing and violence continuing to surge. The question still remains: will there ever be peace?